Hey, what's going on? We are back with week 2 of the draft jam. We were able to pick up a nice firm win last week, and we're looking to do it all again. We're playing Tony. This week, I did not have a lot of time to build. I was very busy early in the week. I was able to do a little bit in the middle of the week, and then I was gone on a trip for much of the weekend. I came back, and then I grinded like really hard in the last day, and in the hours leading up to the battle, which will be played in 1 hour. So. Yeah, we're trying to get this done quick. So yeah, I think that's really all I have to say. I guess we'll get into the team. My opponent has the Tera Quaquaval, Landorus, Incarnate, Latias, Tentacool, Rillaboom, Klefki, Kilowattrel, Tera Tyranitar, Gengar, and Moltres. I'm just going to go into how I think each of my opponent's Pokemon fare into me, and then get into my team. Same as last time. I was wondering if like it went well last time because I think in the past I've like done a full analysis of my Pokemon and his Pokemon, but I think that's maybe like needlessly long. I don't know. I think we're last time, so I'll just do it again. Okay. So Tera Quaquaval. Quaquaval is a Pokemon I respect extremely much. I respect it a lot. I don't know if the right word there is the right way to say that. Usually I draft a non-Tera, but Tera is very strong. I mean, Tera Water just kind of breaks a lot of guys. In my case, I have the Azumarill, which resists both of his stabs. So I think it's safe to assume that he's going to be a type that's going to be able to bypass Azumarill. I think he could, I mean, in theory, in a situation like this, he could just do like Tera up one of his stabs and then break through just by hitting really hard. But the problem is, like, Azumarill's fairly bulky, so it doesn't really work, just strictly from a calc standpoint. But also, what's nice about Tera Blast is that, like, while it is a little weaker than the other stabs that Quaquaval has, like Wave Crash and Close Combat, it's a non-contact against helmet sets. So if he was super effective in a way that's going to hit me, and then he was also able to Tera Blast, that is a way that he can very safely get through the Azumarill in ways like the other sets kind of don't. With that in mind, like the sets that hit this super effectively are Poison, Grass, Electric, and I think that's it. Of that group, the only one that doesn't get hit super effectively by the stabs of Slowking or it's just Electric. So that is what I expect to see the most, but I do think Poison or Grass are both possible. And then after that, I guess technically a stab. I don't really expect to see a stab. But yeah, to me, like this Pokemon immediately reads as the most threatening guy that I gotta go against. Moxie, Aqua Step, like his Snowball's just so fast and it hits so hard. Really just after one boost. And I do see a lot of ways that you could get a free SD on me. So yeah, I think that guy will probably have most of my attention in the prep this week. After that, we have Landorus. I do have a Tinglu, I do have a Bronzong, just in terms of like defensive guys. But Focus Blast actually does hit both of them hard. It does do well over half to Tinglu. So Tinglu, in a sense, like isn't really a check. Because like, not only could it be obvious the turns that I decided to go Tinglu and he could just make the prediction. But even if he didn't, Tinglu doesn't have an immediate way to like hit Landorus terribly hard. I don't think it gets a move to a KO at period. So he can just EP and then Focus Blast right after, and there probably isn't a lot I can do to punish that. On the other hand, I do like Bronzong. If I am Max Bidef, I do avoid 2-hit KO for Focus Blast, and at that point, like he is relying on getting the prediction to 2-hit KO the Bronzong. Otherwise, I'll be able to reliably do that. So I do expect that will be the main way that I'll be able to check that. Offensively, I do have, like, in theory, a banned Aqua Jet Azu, I guess. I have the Kyurem, which is only faster if it's Scarf. I do have Thundurus, which is faster and immune to Earth Power. Doesn't really get a great move to hit it. No super effective moves that are going to work, but it is an option that does exist. Cyclozar, also similar story. Like, it is faster. It does get Ice Spinner, but there's really no path to getting it in outside of, like, a balloon, I guess, but that's kind of freaky. And then there's also like the potential like Shuka G-King. Those are all things that like I could bring that he may want to consider. But like I do see Landorus as a Pokemon that I can check, but the specific sets that I'm forced into in the builder are kind of limited. Next we have Latias. I think this Pokemon's pretty bad into me. I do have the know, the potential for Scarf Kyurem, or I guess Haban Kyurem, I guess. The faster Cyclizar, but also like it just simply doesn't penetrate Tinglu or Slowking G well, really at all. A lot of Annihilate sets get the better of it, especially Spadef or AV, which he's not going to know that I am either of those sets, if I am either of those sets. So, there's also Azu, which forces T-Bolt, and like I don't know if he even wants to fit that. There's Bronzong, there's Enam. I guess T-Bolt covers both of those. Then there's also potential for like First Impression Slither, which will always kill Latias unless it's literally Tenga. But yeah, I would never say that Latias can't come. I think like a trick set would be kind of annoying. But in general, I think it's pretty bad against me. Next we have Tentacruel, which is feasibly, we could say, is like going to be probably his best resist to Bandit Azumarill. Resist both the stabs, outspeeds, hits super effectively with the stab poison move. So I think it's a very reasonable bring. It also, I think if in a world where Rillaboom has terrain up, then it is a fairly serviceable way of removing hazards on Tinglu, because the Earthquake, like it could come in hard on Tinglu and spin, and that Earthquake is going to handily live, so you spin, then you attack. This is all provided the terrain is up, and this is like a max Fizz Def Tentacruel. I think otherwise it's kind of dicey. But yeah, I think there's definitely a world where it comes in. Yeah, I guess if Enam came as well, like I think the two fairies that I have, and you know what, and Slitherwing, because the only way I'd hit Tentacruel is an Earthquake, or I guess like Wild Charge, which is the mid ground for Moltres and Tentacruel. So I guess there's a path for Slitherwing to do that. I don't know if it'd fit those moves, but I can see plenty of justification for Tentacruel. It's not really a Pokemon I think is very good. I don't respect it that much, but just off typing alone, I do see like a place for it, potentially. Next we have Rilla, which what I found over the week, like throughout the week in mocks, is that it's like deceptively good here. At first glance, I have a lot of really good resists to it in the forms of like Slowking G. Cyclizar actually can take a non-banded Woodhammer fairly well, actually avoids to a KO. I have the Kyurem, which easily takes a hit and both goes back. Obviously, depending on what Terra type I want to be for Annihilate, it's technically in play. Thunderous outspeeds and resists Glide. There's the Slitherwing, which resists Grass Move, First Impression, Threaten, all that. So like in theory, it kind of feels like a fairly hostile matchup into Rillaboom. But the problem is that the mere presence of Tinglu makes it so like he can always go hard Rillaboom on Tinglu, and just a raw Woodhammer is pretty much uncontested. So like even though there are many resists, if he was like banned Woodhammer, like it's in grassy terrain, like I'm taking a lot no matter what. So I think Rillaboom is a big threat, not necessarily because the resists aren't there to grasp my team. I have several, but because like how freely it hypothetically comes in on certain Pokemon, in particular Ting. Like that sequence is very favorable for Rillaboom, and that's in this case, like it's really all he's going to need, I think, to get a lot of damage. So I am going to have to prep around that specifically. I think if I do prep around that specifically, though, like I am in good shape. Next we have Keys. Keys does it does check the Kyurem pretty well. Obviously, it's weak to Earth Power. I don't remember if Magnet Rise got snapped. I don't think it did. But in that case, like Kyurem pretty much is not breaking through Klefki. Certainly not without getting T-waved. If it's not Magnet Rise, or even if it is. So Klefki I do expect to exist just as like a first responder to the Kyurem. It also is nice, it just spikes, and my remover is Cyclizar, so if the Keys packed Fairy coverage, then he can't just, like I could go in theory a hard Cyclizar and he can just attack me, and I'll take a lot. I don't know if it's going to a KO, but it'll do a lot. So in theory, like, he does get the better of me. If he wants to set up spikes, he's going to be able to. And then like what I mentioned earlier with the sequence with Rillaboom, if he expects that I go hard Tinglu, which is going to cover a T-wave, and then I get my own spike, that's going to give him Rillaboom, and then he gets to riff those Woodhammers. So like that's a sequence that he has around Tinglu. It's going to allow him to get hits off. So in that sense, like I do think Klefki is pretty good here. It does force certain coverage on Enamorous. If I were to bring it, it is quad resistant to Bug from the Slitherwing. Also, it forces Flame on Slowking in theory. Obviously, you can see on the screen that I don't have it anyway, but if I did, like, otherwise I'm giving up a free spike on Slowking pretty much, which is the case here with my build. So there's a lot to love about Klefki in this matchup. Next, we have Kilowattrel. I don't think this thing is very good. It's never 2-KOing Tinglu, never 2-KOing Slowking G. It's very frail. I do have a few rock options. I have 3. So, going specs and not being boots isn't the easiest thing to do. So, I would expect Kilowattrel to be pretty shit here. T-Tar, I think, is pretty good. It does come in very safely on Slowking. I think Slowking does get Focus Blast, but I don't know. Not really. It really doesn't matter. I think Choppel is also decently likely, but the raw Focus Blast is very hard for me to click on the things that would be out against me, number one, but also, like, it just doesn't Oko, so from his point of view, it could be a trade that's favorable to him if he were to stay in, take the Focus Blast, and crunch back. But I do think this is a guy who at least rocks pretty well in the matchup. It does give me free Annihilate, probably in most cases. Obviously, that will be somewhat contingent on my typing, but I think he has good reason to think that, like, Tyranitar is going to be a good early game mon with a Resist Berry that could possibly trade and will get rocks up almost certainly. Another Pokemon that, like, Cyclizar is just simply not going to beat. So if I went hard Cycle on the rock like he is, just going to beat me. So that's another thing to like about that. It does give me free Tinglu as well, which isn't going to get rid of the rocks, but it does give me free Spike. But again, with the Keys example, I mean, that's free Rillaboom. So both Keys and Tyranitar, like, kind of create paths for him to get Rillaboom in free and get a really hard hit off. And that kind of, like, because his team, like, affords so many opportunities for Rillaboom, I feel like it really doesn't matter that I have the resists. After that is Gengar. This Pokemon's also kind of bad. Depending on my Annihilate Terra type, it's not going to do anything if I'm, like, Spadef or if I'm Dark, which was the type I was considering, but I'll get into that later. The big thing is, like, the Tinglu. He also has to respect the fact that I could be, like, AV or Berry on Slowking, and that either of those are going to allow me to check Gengar completely. Cassib probably a lot less likely, just because the Gengar isn't one of the more likely Pokemon to come in the first place, but it is something he's going to have to contend with if he wants to justify bringing it. Last we have Moltres. Moltres is, it's annoying. I don't think its matchup is good, but its presence is annoying. It's going to depend a lot on, like, just how he decides to build, what vibe he goes with, because it does check the Slitherwing very well. Enamorous doesn't really get a move for it. I don't know if Cyclizar does either. It might. Annihilate the Terra type will depend a lot on that. I guess the option to burn me is always in play. I don't know. I don't think it's a good. I don't think Wisp is that good to me, because in terms of, like, the weaknesses of Moltres, I do have Tinglu, I do have Slowking G. The latter, the first of which, like, even if you burn me Earthquake into Stone Edge, it's still going to check you. I also have the option of Whirlwind. And Slowking G, like, you just give me a free burn, and then I have a free Chilly Reception that I'm gonna get out of. You can't sub on Slowking, unfortunately. It's not weak enough. So a lot of ways where that turn is just, like, kind of bad for him. I also think it just doesn't threaten me that much. You'll see it, like, the specific prep that I bring is actually kind of Moltres weak, but, like, at matchup preview, I don't think that he's gonna. Like, I think there's enough here to justify Moltres coming, but I don't think he's just the match to be like, Moltres is so good here. Like, I don't expect him to say that. So I think that covers everything that he has. So I'm just going to go straight into my team. First, I have the Slowking G. This is Max Fizdef, Sludge Bomb, Psychic, Foul Play, Yawn, and basically the moveset here and the investment here. I'm basically built to check any quack. There are a few different quacks that he could be. This essentially checks all of them. When he SDs, like, Knock is the only move that's going to straight up Oko me. I don't remember if Wave Crash Okos me. I guess if it does, I'm okay with that because of the amount of recoil that it would get. But Aqua Step certainly doesn't. But 2 Sludge Bombs, 2 Psychics. killed Quaquaval. Foul play after an SD does 78 to 92 min, or 78 min to 92 max. But if I'm ever in a situation where like I'm not gonna get 2 hits off, and this guy's like kind of running away with the game, and he can like get a couple aqua steps to kill me, and then my other guys won't outspeed. Yawn is also in play. I will have to confirm item before that move ever becomes worth clicking, because like if I yawn and he's lump, then that just like really sucks. I think that's actually pretty. That's really all there is to say about Slowking. Next, I have Annihilate. If you'll notice right away on this team that I actually don't have Tinglu because of the Rillaboom sequence that I gave a lot of attention to earlier. But the rationale for the Tera type is like if I'm not gonna have Tinglu, then I want to have a Pokemon that I can go very safely on keys and not get punished. Which isn't to say like keys is like offensively good, and I have no key switching, but I don't want to get punished by T-Wave in particular. Is the idea. So I was between Electric, Ground, and Dark. All of those are immune to Prankster T-Wave in some way or another. Ground offensively is pretty good, but I chose not to do it because Rillaboom revenges it so easily. I never OHKO it with any one move that I have, and then also he could just glide. He could just move first and glide. So Ground was out the window. So it was pretty much I think I was Dark most of the week that I was testing, but I decided to go with Electric because I didn't have a good move on Tentacruel. I was kind of forced to click moves into it that give me Helmet. Was there another reason that I decided to move over? Oh, another big one is a sequence I kept playing. Is like, as you can see, I'm kind of on Air Balloon, which is kind of like affected things. But what I was doing is like I was Boots Dark, and when he would get in Landorus, which outspeeds Annihilate, he would Focus Blast because that's the super effective hit. Earth Power never kills. But I want my switching to Lando was Bronzong, and so when I'd go Bronzong, I would take a raw Focus Blast because that's the move that he was pressed to click. And 2 Focus Blasts, that's a roll of 2 at KO. And originally I wasn't even max F, so I would go hard Bronzong my epic Lando check and then take 58. So I changed to Electric because it forces him to click something else. I Air Balloon, so I had the opportunity to check Lando if it came to that. But when you're in the face of an Annihilate, and you have to pop Balloon, you're not going to choose the inaccurate move. So what this does is like when I go Bronzong, not only like he's not going to Focus Blast, but he's not going to EP either because of my Balloon. He's probably going to Psychic or Sludge Wave. I would assume Sludge Wave is more likely to do that move, which Bronzong is immune to. So that's like the ultimate, most favorable swap for Bronzong, and that's basically why I decided to go with Electric over Dark. Like I said, it also hits the Tentacruel super effectively, and I guess the Quack pre-Tera, but I don't expect that to really matter. And I think that's everything for Annihilate. Drain, Ice Punch, Terror Blast, Rage Fist. Ice Punch is a compressed move selection. It hits Lander super effectively quad, obviously because we're working Renoko. But it's also the move that's going to hit Lottie, and that's going to hit Rillaboom. I also have Rage Fist, but it's not a given that I will have that boosted. So until then, Ice Punch will be that click. Rage Fist does hit a lot of guys pretty hard once I get hit once. Once if he decides to pop my Balloon, what he'll give up in exchange is my boosted Rage Fist. So that is nice. But yeah, it's like Drain, Ice. The Tera Blast hits the Moltres, hits the Tentacruel, hits the Quaquaval pre-Tera. Neutral to keys, but I mean Drain could theoretically be better. What's the investment? This speed 297 covers max speed 85, so it's Quack and it's Rillaboom that cover that. Rillaboom is less relevant, just that it can glide, and that glide doesn't do a KO, but it does do more than I'd prefer probably. Let me try to remember. The 80 attack, the 80 attack is so that Ice Punch into Aqua Jet Azu. Spoiler, ooh, goofy set. But the Aqua Jet Calc, Ice Punch and Aqua Jet always kills 40 HP Lando, which is the remainder of bulk I expect him to have after he creeps Kyurem. So that's why I had that. And then the 88 124. I'm trying to remember what calc that is. What calc is that? Might be a Rillaboom calc of some kind. Might avoid a glide to a KO. Yeah, that's to the best of my recollection. I'm not totally sure. I know that I wanted to avoid a 2-hit KO from Psychic for Lando, but I didn't actually need any more Spadef. Like, this HP was permissible to do that. So rest in defense, and it gets like a Rillaboom calc that I'm not remembering perfectly. But next is Kyurem. I have Scarf. You might think like, oh my god, you're just gonna Scarf into keys and do nothing. LOL, this is so bad. But the truth is, like, if I have a very simple game plan that's centered around like removing keys, damaging keys, getting keys low. And if you look at this team, like, it's Quaquaval, you know, weak to Freeze Dry before Tera's. There's Tentacruel, which is weak to both EP and Freeze Dry, but Freeze Dry is more relevant. But after that, it's like Lottie weak to Ice, Lando weak to Ice, Rillaboom weak to Ice. So like Scarf, it does not take a lot for Scarf Kyurem to clean house. It really doesn't. So I think that's like a really good win con I have in the back, and it will be played that way. It's not like boosting or anything, but it will be played that way because it is weak to hazards in this form. So I do not want to play like I'm going to have a bunch of switching opportunities with the Kyurem, because I won't. This speed again is just cover max speed Quack, so that even if he Aqua Steps, my Kyurem will outspeed and either Freeze Dry or Ice Beam, depending on what type he is, but get the kill. Ice Beam if he's neutral typing, like if he chooses, you know, Poison or Electric. The min roll is like 59, I think. So any attack from Slowking plus a Kyurem Ice Beam is always going to take out Quack. I'll always outspeed it after one Aqua Step. So that's the idea with this. Thunderous, this is my lead. It's another Charty set. This time we're physical bulk up. I was weakness policy at one point, but when I was blocking, I kept getting it kept getting foiled by like Choppel Tar, which was kind of annoying. And basically I thought, like, you know, I don't have a feeling one way or another whether I think Choppel Tar is likely, but I don't think the bring is unreasonable. And if he does bring that, and if he does lead that, then the Thunderous is like totally useless. So instead, it's going to be bulk up Charty. I'll bulk up once as he goes Tar, he's Stone Edge. The Charty plus the bulk up is effectively like a +3 defense boost, essentially. I don't think the math is perfect there. But point is, like, the bulk up, the Stone Edge is going to do nothing. And my +1 Brick Break always kills max HP Tar. And if he's Choppel, I think Brick Break into Thunder Punch. I'm like this high attack because Brick Break into Thunder Punch is like a 75% combination roll. That's like the best I can get. But yeah, Knock, Brick, Thunder Punch. You'll notice that I'm not aggro. There are a few reasons for that. One, like, it's not a given. It's not a given that I'm going to get my item taken off. Like if I bulk up as he goes T-Tar and he's not Choppel and I just Brick, then he might just die. And then I still have my item. The Lando could be Stone Edge, so that's like another, you know, opportunity to maybe pop it, but it's not given that I'll lose my item in the first place. There are a couple knockers as well. But another is that there's kind of 4 move slot syndrome offensively, so I have to pick between hitting what is it, T-Tar, Latias, Okoing Tentacruel, and hitting Clef Key for meaningful damage. I kind of have to pick a sacrifice. Well, not really pick a sacrifice, but well, in this case I brushed that doesn't hit Lando that hard, but it hits everything else. But if I drop any one of these for acro, then like what happens is I bulk up, maybe I take Tar, but then after that, like, he always has one or multiple Pokemon that I don't have a great move for. It's like even at +1, like, it doesn't kill. Like let's say he's like Helmet Tentacruel, so I kill Tar, and let's say I'm at acro. You know, my +1 acro doesn't kill Tentacruel. It does a lot though, but then like I probably you know, take a hit plus Helmet, and then I might die, plus Sand Chip. You know, all these are things to consider. But Thunder Punch allows me to hit Clef Key for meaningful damage. It's super effective on Tentacruel regardless of if I lose the item. If I don't lose the item versus that same, you know, Tentacruel scenario, then I'm just terrible. I'm just awful. I was aggro for a lot of the week, but that's why I decided to be Thunder Punch in the end. The speed just covers basically any of the speed guys, like the 110 guys, whenever outpacing my base 95 Kyurem. In theory, like in a normal circumstance, you can think like, oh, well, what if they creep even more? But in this case, 319 is max speed modest for Latias, so it would require that these guys choose to give up modest in order to do some extra weird creep, which I'm comfortable assuming that they're not going to do. So that's why I capped it at 320. and then this bulk. I don't think it's anything meaningful. I know that Stone Edge does under, after Charty Berry, like Stone Edge does, I want to say 58 max. I'm not sure though. But yeah, this guy's basically gonna lead, hopefully take 2. There is a world where like if he, I think this thing does have a decent floor, but if he makes a lot of like early game mistakes around it, then this thing could just do like way more damage than it's supposed to. So I kind of am like, in part that it's a good lead, but I'm also kind of banking on there might be like high upside if my opponent makes a lot of mistakes around it. After that, with Bronzong, this is the Lando check. Psychic Noise, Ice Spinner's Stealth Rock, Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam honestly is like not really a good move here, but it's the best I got to hit Klefki. I just, like between my Steel moves, it's like, oh, do you want to hit Keys or something, or do you want to hit Tar for something? But I ended up choosing Klefki because Tar can threaten me very well, so like there's really no value in staying in. Whereas for Klefki, like there could be value in just attacking into it, I can imagine. I was like mixed defense, and then I was like max attack because Ice Spinner could have Lando that way. But like I said, I was testing and then Focus Blast at like 58, so I was like, you know what, this actually isn't worth it. This is another case where like Ice Spinner into Aqua Jet, Azu. I think that's what the EV is for, like that kills Lando, which means the Ice Spinner does 83 min. But also like the option is there to go cure him. So as long as I Ice Spinner and pop Yachi, if you were to hypothetically have it, that alone is going to be enough for Scarf Cure to Revenge. I am Shuka to cover Gravity / Smackdown Lando. I do expect, I don't expect him to be surprised that I bring Bronzong. Well, I don't want to say that. I mean, maybe he would be surprised that I brought the last spawn. But it is like one of the prototypical, like obvious Lando checks. But if you're not also covering like Gravity, then Bronzong is like completely useless. So that's why I'm Shuka. Yeah, max BF just to take a little from Focus Blast as possible. It narrowly avoids into a KO, I'm pretty sure, if you were to like get that play right. But yeah, otherwise it's like pretty uncomplicated. After that, one thing about Psychonoid, I chose that as my second step just because I think it stops guys from like getting Grassy Terrain, which is very much in play for a lot of the people that will switch in afterward. I think Tentacruel might be most likely. It might fear Psychic move, but I think it takes it pretty well. And lastly, we have Azu. This slot was very much up in the air. I had a Slither at one point. I had Tinglu here actually at one point, but it was just too bad. I was thinking an Enam at one point. I think Cyclozar was also in play. Cyclozar actually would have worked as like a Rillaboom pivot, but I had to just bank on him not being banned, which is just really not. It was not a bet I was trying to make, so I didn't make that bet, obviously. But this is Sap Sipper. Before, actually, I had a combo of Azu and Slowking to cover all sets of Quaquaval. So this was actually like Wakan Huge Power. And basically, I would go like Azu if he was Wakan, or if he was Electric, Tera Electric, or like Stab. And then I would go Slowking if he was Poison or Grass. And then like, depending on, like if I used Azu for Quaquaval, then I could use Slowking for Rilla in theory. But if the inverse is the case, and I'm forced to use Slowking for Quaquaval, then Azu's kind of useless. But in either case, I just found when mocking that Rillaboom was way too strong. So Azu was removed altogether, and then I was like, okay, I gotta find a guy who's gonna be tailored for Rillaboom. And then Azu found his way back on the build with Sap Sipper. Bulldoze, Parasong, Surf, Aqua Jet. The function of Bulldoze is just it's just a click to that could hit like Klefki or Tentacruel for something. I mean, neither of them do that much. But the main thing is like if I am in a spot where Quaquaval turns it up on me, particularly, I guess really it could be any of the sets. Any of the sets that Quaquaval would want to use Azu as a setup, the Grass, the Poison, the Electric. I can spam Bulldoze, and that will always keep him slower than Kyurem, basically. It'll actually always keep him slower than Annihilate as well. So even if I end up dying, Azumarill ends up failing to check Quaquaval, it always prevents him from running away with the game. Yeah, in general, like the speed drop is just really clutch versus a lot of things that could go wrong. I mean, obviously when you're running a non-huge power Azu, like this thing is so unbelievably passive. So you kind of just have to like stack up on moves that like give you ways to prevent him from Mickeying you on site because of how passive you are. So like there's Bulldoze, and another one is Parasong. Basically, like, no one is setting up on me if I have Parasong, and I will click it. I'll even click it on Switch. Like, if I don't have a good click on Switch because none of my attacks do enough damage, like, I'll just throw up a Parasong. You're not gonna stay in. You're not gonna stay in long enough. And then Surf, Aqua Jet. The reason I'm Surf is that if I'm not huge power, then I actually like sub Moltres kind of like can stall me almost because I'm so weak. So I have like a fair amount of special attack investment so that Surf actually 2 KOs. This Surf calc is 2 KO after Sand. It's also above 50% roll to 2 KO Moltres outright. So like the min roll is not 50%. The reason I chose to do this kind of weird thing is just that I don't know or necessarily think that Moltres is coming. So I don't want to like invest so much on special attack. I would need 192 to guarantee it to a KO on max HP. I didn't want to invest so much just for the Pokemon not to come. But in the absence of Azu, let's say this was a different Rilla check, like it was Slither or whatever, Moltres is actually really strong into this team. So I brought the water guy, so Flame isn't that spammable. With this spread, 60 sassy, Hurricane actually doesn't 2 KO after rocks either, which is nice. And I think the Fizz Def is for some Quack calc. I think I left Terra Electric after 3 or 4 rounds of rocks. So like if he does go hard Quaquaval, like his Terra Blast, like unless I'm in range, like his first Terra Blast is actually not going to kill me. So I can get off a Bulldoze, I can get off a Parasong, and basically like Quaquaval, the main thing is like Quaquaval cannot use me as food. If he's Terra Water fighting, then I actually just straight up check it. But he can't, even if he's a super effective Terra type, then he can't use me as like setup fodder basically. I'm always gonna have a way out of it. If I can't just go straight to Slowking, which in many cases I will be able to. But yeah, so I think I went through, I think that's everything, yeah. I'm just trying to, I had some mental notes of like what I wanted to cover, but I think I did. Yeah, like I said earlier, or referenced earlier a few times, like this Aqua Jet is extremely weak, but I still married a few different calcs to it. Like for example, versus the Lando, it is 17 min. So the Bronzong Ice Spinner and Ice Punch, they both kill after a jet. So yeah, that's everything, like I said. So I guess we're just gonna go ahead and get into the battle. So I will see you very shortly. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and search. He is Electric Quack, which is kind of funny. We are Electric Annihilate. Electric. So what that means is that G-King is going to be squarely for that Quack. Azumarill is not going to do it. Azumarill can live like 1, like a +0. My lead here is going to be Annihilate unless there's no Tar. Okay. Not that Tar was like so amazing, but a lot of my early game prep was for Tar. So the Moltres came. I was really hoping it didn't. I didn't think that it would. What else didn't come? Let me pull this up. No Lottie. Oh my god, that's annoying. Because I was between Acro and trying to see if I could fit Acro over Knock. I needed Knock for Lottie. There is no... Actually, those are the only ones. It's really just Lottie and Tar. So really, it's the Moltres. I didn't necessarily insist that Lottie had to be here. So with that in mind, then there's no Tar that's gonna like immediately break the Thundurus. So there aren't a lot of guys here that are gonna KO me right away, and then of course he's not gonna know either that I'm physical, that I'm bulk up. So if all goes well, like the Thundurus lead will take 1 or 2. 2 obviously would be great. 1.5 is reasonable. And I really like it in general because in this matchup, if he misplays early, it actually can get really bad for him really quick. So good luck to Tony. Actually, no luck. I do not want you to have luck. We're gonna see what he leads. He leads the Rillaboom. Okay, this is actually pretty favorable for me. If he leads this, let me think. I actually don't know what lead tells me here because like Band is alright, but there are a lot of guys that lead well into Rilla in general. Could be Scarf. Really, actually, I don't think it tells me anything. What does matter though is he's not going to hit me very hard with anything, I don't think. So he stays in. Stays in, goes for knock. Okay, that did a lot. Cause I'm +1 defense. What's up with that? Okay. I guess I'm going to knock. That's the only play I have here. That did a lot. So what? That did 100 to 112. So that's about 33%. I guess it's actually not that much. It's a lot considering I expected to be like I'm +1 defense. So what does that tell us? +1 defense, knock. Let me see. So he swaps out. We're gonna see what he goes into. That did. So he's not banned. Okay, he's probably adamant not banned. We take the knock off the Lando, the item off the Lando. That's actually very big. I'm gonna go with orb. Right, orb there, and that came off. Now I don't actually have a move for this, so I think I might just hit it again. If he's not orb anymore, does he kill me with anything? Orbless Psychic, Wax Incense. So the Psychic will actually do a lot. It doesn't kill. I'm over half, so I am just gonna knock twice, and hopefully take this. His first hit won't kill me, obviously, but the next one will. Unless he's Stone Edge. I don't think he is, though. If he is, like, I'm kind of at peace with that. So we're gonna knock again. Alright, so he'll live. Let's see what he clicks. He goes for Sludge Wave. Okay, we're gonna eat this. That's fine. And we're gonna go ahead and knock one more time. And we're gonna take the Landorus. I assume that he has decided that he's like at peace with sacking this if he's gonna go into it in the first place. He's also his orb on it. It's at like 10%. So getting Lando out of here is very big. It does raise some questions about my Annihilate set. Because this prep is very anti-Landorus. And Landorus just basically got sacked turn 1. So that is interesting. We'll see if he swaps. I mean, it's not like anything else wants to take a knock here, realistically. I don't know what he would go into. Okay, he lets me take Lando, so that's a big trade. That is a big trade, turn 1. And also, I'm kind of under the impression that I'm faster than everything. Now, Rillaboom can glide. That is something to consider. Glide. How much would that do? He's adamant. He's not. Let's see. He's adamant. He's not item boosting. 66 max is actually the strongest hit for glide here. So if he goes into it, then I can only assume that he is Scarf. Yeah, if he goes Rilla, then I assume he's Scarf. Do I care? In that, so he goes back to Rilla. So I think he is Scarf. He could glide. There's not going to be any rocks this game, so this actually is still useful. And my Azumarill doesn't check. It doesn't check Quaquaval at all. So I think I am going to preserve this because it can be useful later. And he's obviously Scarf because Glide would not kill. So he goes for the Wood Hammer. Okay, Scarf. Oh, that is super Scarf. That is crazy Scarf. Okay, let me write down Scarf. And he revealed Knock Wood. Okay, I have revealed that I am Sap. He's going to almost certainly switch. Into what is a good question. I do feel like he probably goes Tentacruel. So I could actually double Thunderous. This thing is going to be hard to get in, so we just swap first. Well, obviously swap first. He does swap. So we're going to double back into Thunderous. This is the Tenta or the Quack. I think it's the Tenta. Yeah, it is the Tenta. Okay. So we are going to get a nice Thunder Punch off on this. He could go back to Rilla, but at the end of the day, like, damage is damage. I do kind of expect him to do that. So he's Wood. Is that the only move he's revealed, actually? I'm kind of just assuming he's Glide. Well, of course he's Glide. Well, if he's Scarf... maybe he's not. Yeah, I can't assume that. Oh, he revealed Knock. So, it's Wood, Knock, Knock, Wood, probably U-turn. He's Max Attack. I'm going to write that down. He's Adamant Max Attack. Okay. I think we have all the information. Yeah, getting used to keeping track of all the information can be a bit tricky. He also doesn't know that I'm not aggro. I'm not, but it's got to be something that he fears when it comes to going hard Rilla, which is why he's gonna let me T-punch this. That did 1,000,000%. So he's gonna Sludge Bomb and just take this. But so Lando took all of Lando and essentially all of Tentacruel as well. So this guy is really low. The Klefki is still alive, so our Revenger is not going to be Cure Him because I'll just be freeze drying into a spike. Not something anybody wants to do. So I am going to go into the Annihilate and just Terra Blast. He actually doesn't have a great switch into this. He really doesn't. Because he can go Rillaboom. I reveal my, I do. Ooh, I think I have to get the Terra off. But do I care about that? Does that matter? He's not Helmet. I don't think my Rage Fist might kill, but do I care about this? Yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna get the Terra off and Terra Blast. I would care a little more if my balloon was popped, if Lando was still alive. Another benefit of getting Terra off right now is that I can actually go hard into this on Klefki and not get punished by an aggressive T-Wave. I did bench the Ting Lu, which is a reason why he might not be T-Wave at all, honestly. But if he was, Ting Lu, I took that tool, that switch on Klefki out of my toolkit, and I put Electric Annihilate back in. I was between basically Ground, Dark, and Electric, all the types that would be immune to Prankster T-Wave. So we just swap. This has got to be in the Klefki or something's getting hit. Oh, Rilla. What am I talking about? I'm trolling here. I totally forgot that he could go Rilla. It's not. I wouldn't. The reason I didn't necessarily think of it or have it at the forefront of my mind is that he himself doesn't get much out of that. It's going to be hard for him to even U-turn. It's going to be hard for him to U-turn. It's going to be hard for him to knock because that's really, like, it's not even remotely threatening the Annihilate. It's just boosting Rage Fist. So I feel like if he's going to make this play at all, he would want to Woodhammer. That's the only meaningful way he can damage me in the first place. But obviously, there's Azu to worry about. We're going to see if he makes a double here. If he's not going to make a double, then, I mean, he's just going to be in jail, basically. He doesn't have a lot of guys that are good into the Azu. He really doesn't. So, okay. He's Scarf. So he must have U-turned. Or at least that is a fair assumption. He either U-turned or he Woodhammered. He goes for U-turn. He's going to get some Helmet, which is nice. We're going to see what it goes into. I don't really know what his preferred switch into this. It's either Klefki or he's going to pop Terra on Quack right away. That's just basically the way I see it. If he does go Quack, he's Terra Electric. It's not obvious how that's going to beat my G-King. He can go Tentacruel here, I guess. That's not something I'm really that worried about. Like I said, as we know, the Lando is dead, so I can't go back to Annihilate. He can pop my balloon. It's not really something I'm worried about. Sludge Bomb's not going to do that much. I'm trying to think if I have other switches. Oh, Lando's down, so Bronzong is really free, too. Okay, Bronzong is very free. So he's going to go, this must be Quack, right? No, it's Keys. Okay, he goes Keys. This makes me want to go back to Annihilate and just start hitting. I think that's what I'm going to do. He's probably just going to spike up. That's not something I'm that worried about. I actually don't have a lot of boots guys this time around. But the situation really is just like if I get this thing low. So it goes for spike. If I can get this thing low, then Curum's in really good shape. Curum will have multiple switch-ins. We'll have multiple switch-ins on... I want to go for Drain Punch, I think. We'll have multiple switch-ins on Spike. Especially for whatever length of time that the grassy terrain is up. He already gets 4. Well, ish. I want to say 4 because when he's low enough, then Glide will just kill. I'm Scarf as well, so he's not going to be able to Scarf Woodhammer. He will have to Glide. So he swaps here. I would assume it's Rillaboom. I guess if I assumed it was Rillaboom, I should have Ice Punched. But he's getting kind of low here. Goes for Drain Punch. I don't think this is the case. But does Ice Punch kill? Because he's gotta... Like, he knows that I'm just going Azu, right? Like, he just kind of knows that. What just happened here? My calc. Annihilate. Trying to go to the custom set. Annihilate. Electric. So, his Wood Hammer will do at 30 seconds. I'm so inefficient with this. with calculating this way. His Wood Hammer will do... Okay, that does a lot. That is way too much. Ice Punch also is a roll to kill, from what I understand of his set. But this trade is probably not worth it for me. I'm going to go back into Azu. He can U-turn again. He should double. That's what I would think. He does double. Okay, good play. This should be in a Tentacruel. If I were to guess... yeah, okay, this is Tentacruel. This is fine, though. This is not something I'm worried about. Let's see. Now my Azu will be taking a little bit more chip, but this is ultimately fine. We'll see what we'll see who wants to click here. What is beneficial for me is that he's probably going to click a move that's going to make Rage Fist a bit stronger. But I could go the Bronzong like I was talking about. I could go Bronzong and not take the damage. I think I will do that given what's alive. I think I will. We'll see what he goes for. Would not surprise me if Knock comes out here. I don't know. Every click is kind of weird for him here because he just boosts Annihilate. Nothing does that much. Yeah, like a flip turn on Annihilate, it pops the balloon, but like, man, I don't know about that. One thing I will say is this does get in Moltres. Which is kind of annoying for me. It is Moltres, yeah. Let's see. Bronzong, Moltres. So this Flame does about... This Flame doesn't do a huge amount. He also, another thing is like he kind of has to Flame. So I could go Azu. Azu will be getting low for the Rillaboom, I understand that. I do kind of want to get Rocks up though. I think I am going to just Rock and then go Azu. Goes for Flame. I will eat this. Okay, that's fine. Rock up, and now I'm going to go Azu. And that should be fine. Now it's a little more complicated for the Tentacruel to just like keep coming in endlessly. So that was Flame, pretty obvious. If he was Modest, so he's not Modest or at all. He's closer to 0. Let me see. That did... How much did I had 107 left, I think. So yeah, so Modest would have done... I think this is close to no investment. So that is something to keep in mind. I think I'm going to Surf here, which is kind of a funny play. Surf does 2 KO. He can go Tentacruel, but I'm basically banking on the idea that Tentacruel will come in on Rocks, take a Surf, and then I can Jet, and it surely should kill. I was gonna say I haven't noticed if it's Boots. I actually haven't been able to notice it's Boots because Rocks haven't been up for that long. But we'll see what he ends up deciding to do. He's kind of in a weird spot. Part of me wanted to Bulldoze, but
I kind of can't because he knows I'm Sap Sipper, so he knows like I'm not that strong. He knows I don't hit that hard. So I do feel like he could just go keys here. We're also getting to a point where like it could be worth it for Klefki to just bulldoze Klefki a bunch of times. Probably not, actually. I wonder if I should have been Whirlpool on this, or like fit Whirlpool on this. Because like essentially just removing Klefki would be nice. Let's hope he goes Tentacruel. Tentacruel? Yeah, he goes Tentacruel. Okay. So are we Boots? Yeah, we are Boots. Okay, this is cool. So we'll see. He'll live. He's not Helmet, which is nice. So he does live. He's probably thinking like, oh, let's go. I lived. But I'm gonna Aqua Jet. If this lives, I'm killing myself. I'm actually killing myself. I was gonna say like, oh, I should have calculated that. I don't even know how to calculate that. I truly don't even know how to calculate that. Okay. Nice. Okay, so the Tentacruel is down. So the rocks are here to stay. Not that that really matters that much. It is nice chip on the Rilla, which I guess is, you know, good enough. Rilla's actually kind of low. I think it's at like 48-ish. I forgot to mark that. We'll call it half just to be safe, but I think it's definitely a little under half. So when he takes rocks next time, it's not going to be great for him. So this is Quack. Okay, so we're gonna go hard G King. We do always check this guy. He is not Boots. We're gonna see what he's up to. He should just Terra Blast, like just straight up. That's what I would think. What does he click? One thing that's cool is he actually, at least at +0, he's not ever gonna really have a move that's just gonna like Oko me. My Annihilate. So in this weird scenario, actually, I do have kind of like 2 lines of defense against Quack. Somewhat. We'll see if it plays out that way. So he goes for just raw Terra Blast. Is this banded? Okay, no, it's not. Alright, so part of me just wants to like, what do I want to click here? I want to, maybe I yawn? I could Psychic. What does he click? Realistically, he has to step twice to outspeed Kyurem. So I think I will just, I'll either Psychic or Sludge Bomb. But man, but Yawn would be so good. But is he Lumberry? I can't Yawn and have him just be Lumberry. That'd be pretty garbage. Should I Psychic or Sludge? Psychic will do negligible damage to Klefki anyway. So if I Sludge Bomb into him just being immune, he goes for Sword Stance. Okay, this is fine because I am Scarf Kyurem. So if he does like Aqua Step, then it is what it is. So I'm going to. Am I remembering this correctly? I'm not as savvy with the. I'm not as savvy with the keyboard. I think Sludge Bomb and Psychic are the same attack. Psychic, yeah, they are. So I could, in theory, sack somebody. Like I could sack Zong and then go Kyurem. But my Ice Beam, like, it has to kill if I'm gonna do that. It has to kill, which is kind of cringy. I think I'm fine with that actually. Yeah, there's literally no way he lives. Now one thing is like if this Aqua Step, actually I don't even think he did Aqua Step because Aqua Step doesn't even kill me. He had to have gone for, ooh, okay, does this kill me? It has to kill me. Okay, thank God that killed me. Because if he was able to get 2 steps, that would have been devastating. Now the freaky thing here is that I want to this almost certainly, there's no way this doesn't kill, right? I need Ice Beam to kill because I want to I don't want him to like magically be Shuka and then I just like fuck myself basically. Quaquaval, we'll say normal just for sake of argument. The Ice Beam, okay, there's no way this doesn't kill Ice Beam. There's no way this doesn't kill. Okay, so he swaps, he goes Clef Key. So our Slow King Galar lives another day. So we're back and pretty healthy, which is nice. The Keys is going to take another Ice Beam, or one Ice Beam, I guess. It doesn't do much, obviously. Not like we expected it would. This guy's leftovers, right? I wonder if did I miss that before? Actually, no, because he was healthy before. That's why. So I'm gonna go Annihilate, Clef Key, leftovers. If we can simply get this Clef Key low, then the reality is that like Kyurem is going to be really strong for the rest of the game. And the thing is, like, I think Rillaboom is close to dropping to that Drain Punch because he is going to take rocks. So we are kind of getting close to a pretty good spot here in the game, I would say. I wonder if he's thinking about that. Because if so, like, this is another spot where you got to double. I'm gonna fill in for Quack. Did he swap? No, he didn't swap. Okay, I was just looking down. He's gonna spike again. Maybe he attacks. He did swap. Am I trolling? No. Oh yeah, of course I'm faster. So he went straight into Moltres this time. How much does this even do? At minimum, we can say, like, he doesn't know how much this will do. He's not very offensive. Okay, this does not 2-hit KO. So I think, just gonna Terra Blast. Yeah, he does not 2-hit KO me. I am faster. Both of those things are very good. I don't think he's Wisp into my team. Okay, cool. And he goes for Flamethrower. Okay, this isn't going to do much at all. He is going to pop that balloon. Don't burn. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Okay. Rage Fist. No, I'm not going to Rage Fist. That's not worth getting burned over. He can go Rillaboom. He's going to take rocks. He's going to take a Terra Blast. And I will also get a little bit of health, actually, in the process. Yeah, I didn't say this out loud, but I'm quite confident that he's not Wisp because of. I mean, I didn't bring all the guys, but a lot of the main switches that I would bring are not really affected by Wisp. If I were Tinglu on this, there's obviously like on a basic level, there's the possibility of like rest heads, but like Earthquake Stone Edge is still beating. It's still beating Moltres even if you're burned. But he's gonna give me this. Okay. So that's pretty good. Another thing I could conventionally check Moltres is just like a regular G-King. Obviously, I used G-King differently, but Wisp isn't a great click on G-King. Like imagine he just clicks Wisp, I go G-King. Now I get a free Chili, right? So I was pretty sure. I mean, I was willing to live with it if he was, but I really did not think that he was. I really did not think that he was Chili Reception. Okay, so now this makes life a lot easier for Azumarill, because it's not going to be tasked with like swapping into an awkward, Moltres attack. So we can just kind of let Rillaboom attack into it until it drops. Again, this is another opportunity where he should just double. He should just double. Go Quack. I go G-King again. I know that it's a double he should make, but I'm okay with it. I think it still favors me. But he does not do that, so he either U-turns or he just attacked into me. He goes for the Wood Hammer. Okay, so he did it again. Alright. So a cool thing here is, like, I could Bulldoze. I could Bulldoze on the... I could Bulldoze on Quack. I could also Perish Song. Is there which play is better? I think I'm gonna Bulldoze, just take the damage, because Perish Song, I don't think he's still not capable of beating me anyway. So I think I'm just gonna Bulldoze. It also covers Clef Key, technically, which he does end up going into. So I mean, when I say covers Clef Key, it's not gonna do much, but So he's gonna take that. You know, I did a little more than I thought it would. I got a crit, that's why. Okay. And yeah, like if I had Perish Song, like that wouldn't have even done anything. Because it's not likely that Klefki is going to stay on the field for 3 turns anyway. Like he's not going to want to stay for 3 turns. So Perish Song doesn't really get me anything. So I might as well just get damage. So we're going to go right back to the Annihilate. And the thing here is like if we can get this Klefki low enough, then Kyurem will just clean up. It will just clean up shop. I would assume that he's not going to let me go Annihilate again. Like I would assume that he wants to double Rilla here. That's my thought. One thing that works in his favor is when he does Woodhammer and he triggers Sap Sipper, he at least doesn't take Helmet. So, so I swapped first. So that makes me think he stayed in. If I swap first, that means he didn't because he's faster. So he's gonna go for the spikes. This is fine. I'm not worried about this at all. Now I kind of want to Rage Fist. There's really no Rage Fist switch in. That's kind of where we're at right now. And I'm also going to get a little more health back because I have a base 100 Rage Fist now. So, no, I could drain and heal back. Let me think. Rilla would take rocks and then I would drain. Does that actually do more? Actually, I don't care. I don't actually care. I need to pick up a kill here. The health isn't helping me because I'm always in range of Woodhammer. I'm always in range of Woodhammer, so I need to just take the damage. Always take the damage here. It's very possible that Drain Punch would also kill Rillaboom after Rock. It's very possible, but off the top of my head, I don't know. It might be a roll. Okay, Rage Fist. So he attacked me, which is interesting. Okay, so that's it. So this is gonna do nothing, and my Rage Fist is now even stronger. Makes me wonder. No, I can't Drain Punch, I don't think. But yeah, so I'm forcing a kill here basically. Whether it be whether he gives me Rilla or he gives me keys, Kyurem will. If he gives me keys, then Kyurem's just gonna clean up. And if he gives me anything else, yeah, I won. I already won. Okay. So he's gonna give me the keys. Now he's probably gonna go Rilla. And then when he goes Rilla, he's probably going to double Quack. That would be effectively the right play, probably. If he doesn't, I mean, I'm faster than Quack, so yeah, he has to go Rilla. He literally has to go Rilla because I'm faster than Quack. So I'll just drop it. What? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? I must be tripping. Am I tripping? Okay, maybe he was just relying on me being slow. Alright then. So, Annihilate takes the Quack, and now we just gotta... Now it's just Rillaboom, which is countered by my Azumarill, so... Another big showing for Annihilate. Yeah, it doesn't matter what he locks here. Woodhammer does kill me. Yeah, Woodhammer's the only thing that kills me here. But if he locks like Knock, I'm really only talking about this in the sense of, like, do I want to preserve diff? But we'll see if he gives me the option to. We'll see. If he clicks Grass Move, he's gotta click. Yeah, if he clicks Grass Move, then I'll Perish Song, Perish, go Kyurem, and then I'll be over. It might be my play regardless of what he does. So he goes for Knock, so he's gotta just like knock me a bunch of times, I guess. So that at least. Well, now I gotta think. No, I literally don't have a move. I was gonna say like, well, maybe I can attack and kill this. I actually can't. So, I'm just gonna Perish Song, and he's gonna knock a bunch of times. And that last knock didn't do that much at all. So yeah, he might literally not even 3-8 kill me with Knock. He might not 3-8 kill me with Knock with Grassy Terrain up. So it does look like we're just going to... Yeah, so we are going to Perish Song. Perish Song. Yeah, there obviously isn't that much to talk about right here. I guess I'll just bulldoze. Why not? Why not? Goes for knock again. Yep. So the bulldoze. That did. I don't even know if it's possible to conceive of how little that did. Like I might have done under 1%. Parish count fell to 2. So I'm gonna take another one. Guess I'll surf. He knocks. Yeah, this is obviously painful for him. But surf. Oh, that did a lot. Is that a crit? If I knew it was gonna do that much, if I knew it was gonna do that much, then I probably would have done that. Parish count fell to 1. I'll go cure him. Gotta preserve the diff. Preserve the diff. I don't think even if he crits me, this won't drop me. So, so he goes knock. Okay, yeah, that didn't do anything. And that should be game. And I honestly I haven't been through that. It dies after 0, right? Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if I was like off a turn or whatever. Okay, so that is GG. Honestly, I was kind of worried about this game because I didn't have nearly as much time. I was all over the place this past week, but I grinded really hard. I grinded really hard in the last like 4 hours, and I had help from Dietites. Shout out to him for always being there to help. And yeah, so we were able to pull out a good win. We are 2-0 plus 7. Like last time, I don't remember. I don't remember who's next week. So you'll see next week when playing when the battle goes up. All right, so hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you.